Hello, friends. How's everybody doing on this wonderful Wednesday? I hope you are all doing absolutely phenomenally well. I am a little tired. I'm gonna be real with you, but you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna play some D&D. So I'm pretty jazzed about that. I'm gonna undeafen myself to, I'm sure, a cacophony of whatever these fools are talking about. Let's get on in there. Wow, you guys completely... I said I was going to come back to a cacophony of whatever you fools were talking about, and then it was dead silent. Why does your hallway smell yummy? And is that a euphemism? That is... You're a disgusting extrovert. Like, I don't know how to tell you. That is like the grossest thing anyone's ever said to me. Do you know your neighbors? Oh. Yeah. I would just suffer and be like, it smells good. But the thought to go knock on the door would never cross my mind. You're so weird. They're aware of your existence. Hey, smell good. Fair enough. Damn, let me get some of them socks. All right. So, it has been exactly, I think, like 6 months. It's been a long time. I don't know. I pulled that number out of nowhere. I don't know where it came from. It's been a while. Seems like an eternity. Right? Give us a date. Have we? Neat. That's what's up? Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. Do I have... Yes. Sounds good to me. Franklin is honestly the best role player here. I don't know how to tell you guys this. You all need to up your game because Franklin's blowing y'all out of the water. We'll get there. All right, so I'm going to do a quick recap of most of the stuff up to the most recent stuff, and then I'll do a little more of an in-depth recap of the more recent stuff. So, this raggedy bunch of people all met up in a tavern called the Landlocked Dream. The name may or may not have changed at some point. Much to the chagrin of Weatherwax and her obsession with the tavern. But you all got together and were like, well, we're broke. and we're stranded on Zelfin. Zelfin being the main home planet in the home system where all of the people come from. So you guys decide to work together and do a couple of odd jobs for the major families that run all of the operations and try and scrounge up enough dough to get off planet, while simultaneously working for the Rockburns, the Balazars, and the Menders. You did manage to scrounge up enough money to get off planet, but not before crossing paths not so favorably with the Balazars a couple of times. But that's okay. That's all in the past. Certainly, that'll never come up again. To which, you immediately found yourself on a Balazar ship, getting off the planet, with a good friend that you had made previously, Sarthak. Nope. Yeah, no, that was right. Sarthak. Right? I think it's Sarthak. I'm pretty sure. I'm like, no, yeah, Sarthak. Sarthak, the roguish gentleman, who's very nice to you guys, even though you tried to murder him and his whole crew. Well, come to find out, after you finally get off planet, that, maybe the ship that you're on might not be the safest form of transportation, as you were attacked by... I've got him here. I've got him. Where's my notes? Oh my god. My notes are so disjointed. I just went through all of this. Not Genelak. You were attacked by Genelak multiple times. The Collector! That's right. Thank you. You know what? You do. I'll give you that one, because I can't find it in my notes. Okay. You were attacked by the Collector, and he killed you. You all died horribly. Luckily, that was not what fate had planned for you, as, for one, you kind of got somebody to tip the scales in your favor with Weatherwax being there. Not the first time she's died. Not the second time she's died. She's lost track of the number of times she's died. You'd think she wouldn't stab random people in the back as they're monologuing, but here we are. Wait a minute, am I the bad guy? So, both with Weatherwax's help and guidance, as well as the time horrors that you have witnessed up to this point, kind of tipped the scales in your favor, and you weren't really able to die. So, death took you to somebody else. This being is one that is beyond even the gods themselves. He introduced himself in his small gnomish form. And by introducing himself, I mean he literally never told you his name. He showed you great magics that he has the ability, or has the power for, all while admonishing you for your flagrant, I can't speak tonight. Yes, that word. You're breaking time. For some reason, time is getting all wonky and you guys are not helping. And getting killed by the Collector was not any of your fates. In fact, most of you were slated to die at much different times than when you did. So, he sent you back in time. He said, you can't interact with yourself, or bad things are going to happen, and I need you to figure out why time is broken. Crazy stuff's going on. So you get sent back onto the ship. Most of you do a very good job at avoiding yourselves, except Franklin, because Franklin says, I know I'm going to be in the kitchen, so I'm going to go hang out with myself. For whatever reason. Luckily, Franklin does not cause a rift in the space-time continuum by touching his past self. And you didn't cause a time rift by touching yourself. No. Yes, for honestly no discernible reason. But that's fine. What ended up happening, in the hold of the ship, you came back together as a group. Current time stream Weatherwax meant previous time stream Weatherwax, only to unlock the memories that had been suppressed of meeting her previous self, all with the help of the goblin that was stowing away on the ship, the goblin that is a psionic traveler. The goblin said, I know you guys want to help me, but you can't. It's kind of my destiny to go here and go with the collector. Like, thanks for helping, but tag, you're it. And she let you into the extra dimensional space in your smuggler ship. Luckily, that stopped you from dying a second time. At which point, you then took over the ship. Christening the ship, the borrowed time, with one hell of a speech, you hired on your first mate, Salivar, and set off on your first mission, which was over in the Direham system. But you got distracted as Onos got some information on the power that he has. The power that he's kind of shared with you guys, but what you know of it is he has some sort of ability to utilize the same abilities of your enemies. So you decide that, sure, we'll take a small detour to the Cinnabar system to go to a swamp witch that is said to have knowledge of these coins. The group kind of got split up a little bit in the swamp witch's territory. Franklin, Chirp, and Onos all went off to go to a temple of Eretsil, Franklin's god, to collect a orb that the Swamp Witch sent them for. Weatherwax, on the other hand, became buddies with the Swamp Witch, only to find out that the Swamp Witch is Freya, the Norse god of life, battle, war, and love. After traveling with Freya to the seat of Odin's power, Weatherwax helped Freya discover what had happened to Odin, because Odin had disappeared. Come to find out that your previous enemy that you've bumped into before that got away, Genelak, the giant fourth dimensional, maybe more than fourth dimensional eldritch horror that is causing all these time shenanigans, took him. At that same time, Franklin, who found the orb of his god, Eretsil, was given a vision of Eretsil himself, chained to the ground in golden chains. Also, presumably stolen by Genelak. Once you came back together, Franklin decided to try and get high and mighty with Freya, to which she said, I'm gonna kill you. To which he said, what if you just don't hurt me and I'll give you the orb? Also, don't hurt any of my friends. And by friends, I mean followers of Eretsil. And she said, all right, deal. And then she took the orb and absorbed it. After which, you all left. Except Onos gained knowledge of the coins, what they are, what they do. They are coins of hell, H-E-L. The, I don't want to say boss, but kind of the head honcho in the Norse underworld. 2, he has a giant pet raven now called Hugin, who's kind of just following him around and working with him for now. And 3, somehow developed a deeper bond with Freya because he had originally traded some of his life force to her for this knowledge, but she gave it back once she absorbed Eretsil's power. You all sailed away without an issue. I believe, as you were about to jump to the Direham system to finally go to the magic coordinates that Weatherwax found in the journal of the previous first mate of your current ship, You were attacked for the first time in space. A giant pitched space battle occurred in which the two ships ended up beside each other. Chirp, being the master of elements that he is, cut a hole in the side of this ship with a fire torch he made with his hand, and Onos released an entropic arrow from his bow that bended space around itself to go through the ship and hit the crystal, which was both giving the ship air, gravity, and the magic that it needed to stay up. Once that crystal was destroyed, the ship went down, and you were able to limp away without too many injuries. You then went to the diagram system. Upon reaching the coordinates from the book, you found an asteroid with a very strange door in the side of it. It looked like a fairly normal metal door. Upon opening said door, it collapsed into the rock itself, and you entered a temple. The temple itself was recently ransacked, one might say. A pitched battle was fought here between some sort of myconid creatures, both of the bipedal, quadrupedal, and whatever race that they could infect variety, and would seem to be mostly humans. Upon getting to the end of this area, these creatures that had been gestating emerged. You were able to fight the creatures off, but not before they finished their task. Upon destroying the creatures, a seal was broken. A statue of... Pam, what's the name of your god? Sheikah. A statue of Sheikah was destroyed, causing the asteroid to collapse in around you. A very daring escape was made, which everybody made great use of their powers, and managed to escape unscathed, luckily. However, this asteroid was destroyed and the seal collapsed. After that, you decided that the next best course of action would be to head to the planet that Freya told you about. She said that she had maybe not a friend, but an acquaintance on this planet by the name of Bastet. She gave you a statue that was supposed to be a ticket in, gift. She never quite explained it, but she gave it to you, told you where to find this planet in the diagram system, and sent you upon your way. You approached the planet. The planet itself was nearly totally covered in desert. However, there were oases throughout. You found the one that had looked like the biggest temple, and you landed there. And that is where we left off. Yes. So two things I missed. Yep, with that in previously, there was sort of a split timeline that the innkeeper had made a deal with Sheikah, and they're the one that actually gave Weatherwax the book. Not no, the first mate's book was something different. You're right. And Freya did also tell Chirp that if he wishes to ascend to true godhood, or not godhood, dragonhood, as it were, he would have to find Loki and unlock the bloodline of Jormungandr. Did I miss anything for anyone else's? There was dancing potato people at some point. Did I miss anything big? All right. Yeah, Freya's pissed at you. Timber mill. That's correct. On the way to the planet of Bastet, everybody went to sleep, only to awaken in the previous area that they awoken when they died. However, this time, they were not dead. And all of their items had been brought with them, but not just all of their items, any items they had lost. To which you talked to the gnome again, and he told Weatherwax had cleverly taken one of the mushrooms that up to this point had been nearly impossible to collect because they would turn to golden sand in her hands, by wrapping it up in a chunk of human flesh, and at one point thought about sleeping on it for some reason. But she gave that to the gnome. Yeah, I don't know how to tell you guys this. You're actually on the wrong side of this. You gave that to the gnome, to which he said he would require time to study it. And he foo-fooed you guys out, back to the ship, and to the planet of Bastet. Did tell you not to talk to Hadvar. I do have that. You are currently on the ship. The ship has been brought down to dock. Let me hop back over to the correct screen. Here's my, there it is. Correct. Correct. And his name is Salivar. Wow, you tried to pivot so fast there. Yes, Franklin. Let's see how far that goes. As your ship gets brought down to dry dock, the heat of the desert surrounds you. It is disgustingly hot here. Chirp is, has right at home. The rest of you are sweltering. You strip down to essentially whatever is both comfortable and still polite. Very well. You guys do. The rest of the men seem to take their shirts off, and the ones that are working above deck on the ship. You do actually notice that below deck, it is a little cooler than you would expect. Perhaps another bonus of your ship? As you all get ready to disembark, you do notice a few things. First off, all of the hustle and bustle that was happening before, the throngs of people that were moving around, are almost entirely gone. You notice only one or two people moving around here or there, and those that are hurrying. You do also begin to hear chanting coming from inside of the incredibly large temple. The temple itself is the largest structure in the surrounding area. It is a multi-pieced structure, so different pieces kind of connect in weird ways that don't make much sense from the way that you see them on the ground. However, flying in, you did notice that the layout of all of the buildings in the area make up a cat that is laying on the ground. As you put down the gangplank, what's up? Yes, a cat. Yes. Correct. I'm glad you caught on, Chirp. Oh, you mean the ones that didn't work? Right. Right. Nice. Respect, respect. Yep, just spicy. Very well. So as you're standing on the deck doing this, Salavar lowers the gangplank for you and follows you all down. At the bottom of the gangplank, you notice that there is two rather tall, almost felinid looking humanoids. Not quite, but some of their features seem a little too angular. Seems as though the elves of this planet have also started to take on a certain shape. Both bow deeply to you as you come down the gangplank. The older of the two, one that has a very thin white beard, steps forward. We do not receive visitors here very often. May I ask what brings you to our home? Both of the elves take a look at it. The older of the two holds out his hand. He bows again. That is understandable. I just wish to inspect it. He takes it and holds it in his left hand. He raises his right hand above his head and begins to move his fingers, each digit individually. You notice that a light blue cloud comes down from them and just barely touches the statue before a bright blue glow fills your eyes. You're temporarily blinded for just a second, which is impressive in this already bright desert sun. And as your vision comes back, the older elf gentleman is standing there, and you can see the tips of his fingers have become slightly blackened. Showing no emotion, he hands you your statue back. Very well. You are welcome on the temple grounds. However, you will have to dress appropriately, they say, looking over at Franklin. It is a festival day. You will have to be dressed in traditional temple attire. He motions to one of the buildings behind him. They will get you suited. He bows his head a little bit, and they both turn to leave. Bastet. That is a good question. Give me a roll here. Give me un segundo to pull up the exact roll I would like you to do. Da-da-da-da. Well, let's see how much you know about that god. Let's see. Nope, that is the... there we go. Give me a learning roll. Solid 12. You're not familiar with this god. The followers of it so far don't seem to be openly hostile. So, shrug. You have gathered, however, that their iconography, that of the cat, is not too dissimilar from Eretzil's iconography of the elk. So, probably good friends. Okay. I assume everyone's following. Nope. Absolutely very, very few people out now. However, you do hear the sound of the chants in the background. Most people that you do see are running towards the temple. Not as of right now, but if we bump into someone, I'll let you know. Very well. You all walk into the building that the man pointed you to. It is a short stone building made out of sandstone. As you walk inside, it is again a little bit cooler in here than outside, and not just from being out of the sun. The room itself seems cooled through some means. You notice another one of those almost felinid like elves behind a little wooden desk where you can see that they're sewing things up. All across the walls are different types of gowns, most of them long white and with a hood. On each of them are different patterns emblazoned of different cats, cat-like objects, or a myriad of shapes and lines that kind of invoke that cat-like feeling. As you walk in, the elf stands up from what it's doing and bows to you. Ah. Here for the festival, are we? Very well. It is. Oh, this is the celebration of the birth of Bastet. They look at you for a moment and then gesture to the wall behind them. Please, find something in your size. You can leave your other garments here if you would like. Not very far. Yeah, give me a perception check. You all see Weatherwax looking very intently at all of these dresses, and you all immediately know that Weatherwax is going to find you exactly what you need. So you all put your trust in Weatherwax. Weatherwax begins to look at you, grab a dress, kind of hold it up to you. Nah, not that one. This one. Okay, no. Within about 10 minutes, there's a pile of dresses on the floor, none of which fit any of you. Weatherwax did manage to find one for each of you that almost fits. Chirp's is just a little too long. Franklin's is just a little too short. Onos's is just a little tight in the shoulders. Weatherwax's is just hits like the back of her feet when she walks because of her weird knees. So it's all almost perfect, but not quite there. And also now Weatherwax very happily and excitedly after finding everyone's outfit is like, yeah, let's go. We're ready to leave. And you all walk out in your new dresses with Weatherwax leaving a pile of them on the ground. Sure. Yeah. They're long robes that are white and have a hood that almost completely covers your head and face just to keep the sun off. That is feasible. You guys can keep on all your clothes under the robes. Yeah. However, I will tell you, if you choose to keep on your clothes under the robes, it will be hotter, and that may come up. Okay. That cloak will cause you to be hot. That is the purpose of cloaks. Onas? You getting naked? Alright, make sure everybody removes their AC bonus for armor for now. Or I think there's a button to take off. Sure. It will make you overheat. You can use your abilities to cool yourself. However, those abilities do have somatic and verbal components. So if you go to use one of those abilities to cool yourself down, people will believe you're casting spells. Just so you're aware. That would be akin to casting spells. It would be on your chainmail here. If you click on it, if you click on your armor, it should say equipped, and you uncheck that. Yep. So, you are all in various states of undress underneath your dress. And you head towards the temple. The temple itself is monolithic. It's very tall. As you get closer and closer to the temple, this cacophonous sound of chanting, you feel it more in your chest than you even hear it in your ears. Just so many people chanting. It is a language that none of you know. You are not sure what's being said. As you enter the temple itself, The chanting, which threatened to overwhelm you on the way in, almost becomes more melodic and begins to sweep you up in it. It no longer is painful for your ears or feeling like someone is standing on your chest. It's more rising. It makes you feel like you're being lifted. You almost feel lighter being in the temple itself now. In this room of pillars, you notice that everybody is spread out throughout the grounds, sitting next to each other, laying on the ground, just packed in here. You would hazard a guess there's probably a couple thousand people in a space that is meant to fit far less. You can tell that this area here is not usually as filled as it is. And as you look to the far side, past everybody who is sitting and chanting, you see a pool of water. This pool has a mist around it. And on the far side of the pool stands a 10.5-foot tall humanoid with the head of a cat. They themselves are in nothing but golden chains that drape around their body. They seem to be standing almost still as a statue, as surrounding them are many robed figures that are also chanting. What do you wish to do? Oh, no, sorry. Like golden chains, like necklaces, not chains holding someone down. My bad. It is definitely more godly in terms of its catliness. It is a full-on cat head on a human body. Probably. Seems like they're chanting right now, if I had to make a guess. Seems like this might be the chanting portion. Maybe they're singing happy birthday right now. Give me an agility check. Okay. Willowax begins to lead you through the incredibly packed crowd. She begins ducking under people, like around people, through people, over people. You do notice that as you're moving through this group, that no one's really reacting to your presence. No one's stopping to look at you. No one's even looking up. Most people have their eyes closed and their heads thrown back while chanting. So you're very easily able to get around most people without causing too much of a disturbance. In fact, you're able to get all the way up to the doors that separate the chambers. Right here. What's up? Oh, do you guys not see the map? Oh, snap. Bad. I'm glad you mentioned this to me like 20 minutes after. There you go. Yeah, this is a small slice of the temple. Right here. Yeah. So inside this big room here, that's where the 10.5 foot tall cat lady is, and all of her friends that are all of the robed people that are singing to her. Potentially. That room is surprisingly not as packed. Mostly just a handful of robed people. All of them stand about the same height, same build. It's very difficult to tell one from the other. Most of their faces you can't see as they are hidden by robes. Is that is that the plan you all agree with? Wait. Yes, you're coming from the south where the ships are. You are currently right here. It does tend to be not as helpful. Just keep saying omelette du fromage. Very well. Hugin, you're going to use Hugin to... Oh, you know what? Actually, that is... Hugin might know what that shit mean. Have Hugin roll a learning check. I was waiting for Pan to stop rambling. Onos. You look over at Hugin. You notice that one of Hugin's bright red eyes begins to glow. And as it does, in your mind, the chanting shifts from a language that is completely unknown to you to common. You could tell that they're chanting about the birth of Bastet and how great Bastet is and how she has done nothing but good things for her followers. She showers them in gold and riches and life. And through Bastet, we will be reborn. And Bastet is the best. And just continually praising Bastet. And near the end of this chanting, they just keep saying, reborn, reborn, reborn. Oh, wait, here. So, Onos. Oh, Weatherwax is the one with the statue, right? Yes. Okay. Onos, as you kind of scoff, you realize that it came at a lull in the chanting. And it was dead silent in the room as you went. No, but Bastet did. You notice that the 10.5-foot cat creature that is standing across this pool of water, it has been standing statue still, not moving this whole time, locks eyes with you, Onos. And as she does, she begins to step forward into the pool of water. You notice that as she steps forward, while maintaining eye contact with you, you notice that as the water reaches different portions of her body as she's stepping in, you see the very flesh being stripped from her body, down to the muscle, then the skeleton. And emerging from the other side of the pool is a 10.5-foot tall skeletal cat creature staring directly at you, Onos. Bastet gives you one final look for putting her arms out to the side and falling backwards into the pool. The blue mist that is swirling around the top of the pool begins to arc, lightning inside of it. It begins to coalesce into another form. At first, the form seems like it might be something larger, and then it shrinks down and then becomes large again as though it's breathing. After a few moments of this, it begins to condense down, 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 down. And as this blue lightning mist condenses farther and farther, there's a bright flash. And on the other side of the pool sits a small kitten. And as the kitten... I'm sorry, go ahead. As the small kitten walks away from the pool, everybody begins to stand up. Those that were robed in the rebirth chamber here at the top take their hoods off. Most of them seem stoic, but a couple of them have what look to be smiles on their faces. Everybody begins talking amongst themselves, just kind of chatting a little bit. You notice that as people begin to move to the sides and kind of coalesce into little groups, suddenly tables begin to appear. The tables themselves are filled with food that smells delicious. And everybody sits down. Are you looking for her? Give me a perception. Weatherwax motions for all of you to follow her as she walks into the rebirth chamber. And she begins looking around for the kitten. All of the robed elves are still kind of chatting amongst themselves as they watch Weatherwax and your motley crew walk in the front door. They're all kind of staring at you as Weatherwax continues to look around. She starts looking like under chairs and moving stuff around. One of them kind of looks sideways at you and you kind of just give him a little wave. After a few moments of looking for the cat, one of the robed figures steps forward. Can we help you? The guy looks you up and down. Oh, is you brought her a birthday present? He says, confused. I know not of this, Freya. If you wish to give her the present, she will be holding her, court hours after the party. He just nods and kind of gestures for you to go back into the room with all the people. Very well. You all follow Weatherwax out? Very well. Yes, so the food, as you move out into the general room, the food is there for everybody. Everybody is kind of moving around. Different tables have different foods, so lots of people are kind of shifting around. Everybody is sitting on the ground. The tables are very low. And yes, there are many different types of stews, curries, meats, roasted foods. All of it very delicious. Franklin, a lot of the spices that you're tasting are partially familiar to you, but there are definitely ones here that you've never had. So, might be a good idea to try and get some on the way out. Or maybe find who's been cooking the food. You see no kitchen. These tables were magically teleported in. With all the food. So, you all find yourself a place to sit. You're bumping elbows with people you've never known. However, most of these people that are eating seem very jovial and don't seem too bothered with how close you're sitting to them or bumping elbows or anything like that. Sometimes they even reach over and take food off of your plate. Does anybody try and stop them from doing that? Those that you do that to kind of stop for a moment and then give you like a nod. You would expect this room, with as loud as the chanting and everything was, to be boisterous and loud. However, most of the conversations are pretty reserved, but you can tell that there is an air of jovialness. People are happy. They're telling jokes, but everybody's very respectful of everyone else in that regards. After eating for about an hour or so, everybody gets up and begins to move towards the exit. Okay. You're very easily able to move through the crowd now. As you attempt to move forward, even with this very tightly packed throng of people, it almost seems like the crowd itself can sense what you're thinking, or at least your motives, and they begin to part for you with absolutely no issues. They let you just walk all the way up. And you are about the second or third group of people to actually get out of the building. Outside of the building, you are currently here. I don't know if you guys can see that ping, it's a little dark. You are now in front of the building itself. Standing in the sand here, past where all of the boats are docked, is a 37-foot cat creature. Humanoid. Head of a cat. Donned in gold jewelry and chains. And they are massive. Everybody else is coming out, and nobody else seems to be surprised by this. As everybody kind of circles around and fills out the dock, gazing upon Bastet, you hear her boom. Actually, no. All of the robed figures that were out in the rebirth room make their way past everybody and are standing now in front, and they are turned to face you. Most of them have their heads down. And then you hear, "Hello, my people." But the voice is booming, and you swear you can see trees move with the sound of her voice. "What is it that you would ask of me?" You stand there for a few moments, trying to figure out how this goes. After a moment, somebody leaves. And you hear Bastet say, "I will do my best." Another moment, somebody else leaves. "They will be healthy by tomorrow." Okay. Other people continue to leave. All the while, Bastet is saying different things that kind of make a little sense, but it's almost like you're listening to one side of a conversation. Weatherwax, while you were engrossed in your prayer, who else is looking around? I figured. So, Franklin's looking back into the food hall. Got it, got it. Onas, give me a perception. Woo, baby. Wait, why did you have advantage 1 on that? Hell yeah, nice. Onas. As people are leaving and different things are happening, you see one, Weatherwax has her head bowed in prayer, to which you go, Chirp is looking all around, attempting to find any sort of people to share his love of spicy candy with. Franklin is watching. He turns around looking for people to come clear the plates and stuff, but he's not seeing anyone. But you're kind of taking everything in. And you notice one thing that's really out of the ordinary. As Bastet answers people, you notice that all of the priests have their head bowed, but you can notice one moving their lips. And you continue to watch that one move their lips. And every time they move their lips, Bastet talks. And everything, you start to put 2 and 2 together. So you watch what Bastet says and you watch his lips. And it seems to be, whoever this person is the one answering the prayers in some way, shape, or form. About this time, Weatherwax finishes with her prayer, yes. Mm-hmm. Okay. Nothing happens, as far as you're aware. Avatar? Onas! Your perception was very good, but let me see here. I want to check one thing. Onas, give me a deception roll. Ooh! Onas, yeah, that's, you think that that's correct. Yep, you're pretty sure that what you're seeing is the avatar of Bastet. And that person's probably going to be the one that you need to go talk to. Okay. You, Onas, walk up to the one who's talking. Does everybody follow him? Okay. So okay. So Onas, you walk up to this man. What do you say to him? You can tell that it is a man as you get closer. However, it is very difficult to tell with his feline-like features. And he looks at you as you approach. Give me a moment. Right now you're trying to talk to Bastet. So, he looks you up and down and says, "No, it's nothing like that." And just gives you a little smile. You're pretty sure he's telling the truth. As for Weatherwax, you do realize you're casting a spell on this man, right? You do realize you're casting a spell on this man, right? Weatherwax, I'm gonna... Weatherwax, I'm gonna need a deception roll. Or, let me see here. I'm gonna assume you're going to attempt to not be discovered upon casting the spell on him. Am I correct? Okay. Yeah, deception's gonna be the one. Good luck. Hero points add 1. Yeah, if you want to, I'll give it to you. How many hero points you got between you? Oh my god! A 15 is what you're shooting for. What chads? All right. So, as Onas steps up to talk to this person, out of the corner of the eye, Onas, you notice Weatherwax doing Weatherwax things. You notice her eyes roll into the back of her head and a golden sheen go over them, and you're like, oh fuck, she's gonna do something. You take a look over at Chirp. Chirp looks at you, looks at Onas, looks at Weatherwax, looks back to Onas and goes, God damn it, alright. So as you're talking to this person, Chirp walks up, and you and Chirp begin to just bombard this guy with questions. You're asking him about Bastet, you're asking him about the temple, you're asking about, however you can, anything. You're just asking him questions. And the whole time, Chirp's like, hey, I've got these candies. You want to try these candies? I got some really good candies. I got other food. You want me to go get you some more food? Like, you guys are just bombarding this guy, and he is obviously overwhelmed. While you're doing that, Bastet does continue to answer questions. However, it does seem to take her a little while to answer these questions. And after a moment, both Onos and Chirp, the guy goes, please stop. I would ask that you leave me alone during this time. This is part of a ritual. Please leave me alone. And fortunately, they managed to buy Weatherwax enough distraction that he doesn't notice Weatherwax slip past his mental defenses. Weatherwax. You begin to read the surface thoughts of this man. And as soon as you break into those surface thoughts, it is a cacophony of thousands of voices in your head all at once. You immediately drop to your knees as it is simultaneously the loudest and most overwhelming thing you have ever heard. Fortunately, you're able to order your thoughts, start to turn the other voices off, thanks to your own mental training, and begin to bring the cacophony into a much more manageable size. As you do, you begin to hear people's prayers. Please, my mother is sick. Please, I need money for this. Please this, please that. Please help us, Bastet. These are all prayers that are coming into this man. You do also hear him answer each of the prayers. Of course, we will help your family. And you hear Bastet say, of course, we will help your family. Every time this man answers one of these prayers, Bastet parrots his answer. And as you are finally picking through everything, you start to realize, as you are in this cacophony of noise, there's something missing. You've stood in the presence of a god. You've stood in the sight of a god that had battled for their very life. You've battled godlike beings and lived to tell the tale. You have died at the hands of godlike beings. There's not that spark. There's not that feeling. There's not that energy. As far as you're aware, there is no god answering these prayers. Just this man. You can tell that as of right now, all of his energy, thoughts, and focus are going into answering these people. If you catch him at a different time, you may be able to glean more information, but as of right now, all you can tell is that he is currently the one answering these prayers. You can also tell, after a few minutes of being in his mind, he's starting to become aware that something's not right. You can feel his own energy begin to well up as a defense, and you're able to pull out before you are discovered. You all come back together, collectively, as more people begin to leave the temple and move towards the outskirts. What do you do? Everything looks as normal as it can. I mean, you're a stranger here in a strange land. Some things might look a little off. the way that they do things or things like that, but nothing seems to jump out at you as not right. There's no, I don't know, giant tentacles sprouting from the ground or anything like that. You find that you do not see any people like that here. There does not seem to be any poor people, no orphans, nothing. As it seems like everybody seems well taken care of. No beggars on the streets, no lunatics raving about the end of times, nothing. Everything seems idyllic. Nope, not as far as you can see. Everybody seems to treat each other with the utmost respect. You see, nobody seems to be wanting for anything. In fact, nobody seems to be exchanging any sort of money for goods and services. Seems to be anything that needs to be is given freely. Yeah, is that what you do? You just walk up to a dude, hey, you got $5? Case? You mean case? Case is the word you're looking for. No, like casing a joint or casing someone? Yeah. Okay. Okay, so you're gonna wait for the festival to be over? Very well. $37. Tall. Not long. Yep. So it's well, it's still humanoid, it's just got a cat's head. It's the same way she looked before, but 37 feet tall. No. Sure. I yes, it's prescience. Scan for auras at power level 1. So you can tell that the 37-foot tall cat creature is magic for sure. That you could tell that 37-foot cat thing is magic. That is what you could tell. Yeah. Gotta go. No, that's all good, man. No worries. That real life always takes precedence, man. Sorry. No. Yeah. Good luck, man. So I believe the scan auras, if I'm not mistaken, is just scanning for magical things. Right? Yeah. So it's a magical force that you see. Yeah. So take of that information what you will. So you see Hugin hit. Right, so you can. So yeah, there's detection, which is what Hugin has. You get extraordinary vision that allows you to see colored auras which correlate to magical, spiritual, other extraordinary forces. Common examples include Paladin detecting a suspect's true intentions, a psychic reading the aura of a location, a cyborg scanning the terrain for signs of life. When calling on this boon, you must choose a type of aura to detect: holy, unholy, life, death, magic. You can perceive invisible auras pertaining to that type of force and have an approximate sense of its strength, come from weak to overwhelming. Okay. The sense that you get from this magic is that it is probably not as magical as you would expect. But it is magical. Oh, wait. Shit, Hugin rolled a 19, so I was looking at a different thing. No, Hugin can tell that this magical aura that is being cast is an illusion. Yeah, sorry, I didn't see the roll. I was looking at your 2. To you all, it looks completely normal. Like there is a 37-foot tall Catwoman standing over there, as real as you. But Hugin's eye glows red again, and Onos, your vision swims as you begin to see through Bastet, and it becomes more translucent, and you can see the threads of magic going from it to the guy. Very well. Onos, give me a deception check. Tie goes to the runner. In this case, the runner is the NPC, so he would need 2. All right. Onos, you can tell that the guy is looking at you incredulously, so you give him a very disarming smile. The crowd begins to disperse. There are very few people left. The sun is setting, and you notice that the air around you has gone from sweltering heat to nice. It's actually not too bad. And then within a few moments, it's starting to get frigidly cold. As everybody disperses, that includes all of the men in robes, bar the last one, the one that you were talking to. He walks up to you. Onos. My good sir, would you be willing to follow me? He bows his head. Thank you very much. And he motions back towards the temple. No, you can all come. Okay, good. He walked up to the group and asked you to follow him, and you guys have agreed to follow him. As you make your way through the temple, you notice that without all the people, the tables and chairs and everything are all gone. Or, well, sorry, the tables, cushions, plates, all of that gone out of the antechamber. As you make your way into the rebirth chamber, you notice that the pool has been covered with a gilded stone slab depicting a battle that Bastet had previously. He leads you into a set of stairs that go down underground. Following him down... Yes? What do you mean? Wait. Who? Bastet? Yeah. Yeah. No worries. You follow the priest down the stairs, and as you do, it becomes cool, but not as cold as outside. Comfortably cool. You make your way down 3 flights of double back stairs, and he leads you... Okay. Okay. Yeah, you're right behind the guy, because he walked up to you. He brings you down the stairs and motions to a room on the right. Inside, you see many cushions piled up on the floor. And he walks in and sits down on one. And gestures for you all to make yourself comfortable. Yeah? Yeah, you just letting it all hang out? Yeah. Okay. He addresses you. Thank you for coming. You are all not from here. Which is why I might be able to trust you. Something terrible has happened, though I suspect you may already know. He looks at you all stoically. He nods his head. Yeah? Oh? Well, I require something of you. Something I would ask. As you are already aware, Bastet is gone. We do not know where. We do not know why she has left us. Those of us that are left, our priestly powers are beginning to wane. So we fear the worst. However, Bastet did leave us a message. She said if she were to ever disappear, that there is a temple on the other side of this planet. One to a long-forgotten one. And there we would find the help that we need. As myself and the rest of the priest's powers are beginning to wane, and the people here, we are no fighters. We need someone to brave the desert and go to that temple. Would you wish? Would you like me to leave while you discuss this? Well, we could put a temporary boon on you, but as our powers are very weak right now, I don't know that it would be of much help. We don't have many relics here at the temple. None that I think would help you on your journey. No, this planet was reclaimed by Bastet, and temple was destroyed. It was to a heathen, a heretic god. He tilts his head sideways and reaches out one hand to touch it. And as it gets within about a millimeter of the statue, a bright blue light flashes again, and the tips of his fingers are blackened. He takes his hand back. I do not think this was meant for me. Onas, give me a perception roll, since you were the first to come in, first to sit next to the guy. You look the man up and down. His demeanor is very hard to read. He's very stoic. He doesn't move very much. From your time playing any number of gambling games, you become very good at reading people. However, this man is an enigma. If this were a poker face, you would fold immediately. You have no idea what he's thinking, what he's feeling, why he's sending you to this temple, or anything. Though his words seem to ring true, it's almost too true. You just get a weird feeling about this guy. We open ourselves up during the festivals and then use what little power we have after to fulfill the wishes as much as we can. Typically Bastet would handle this, but He lets the words hang in the air. Yes. She was driven off this planet long, long ago. Then she brought us back, her faithful, and made it livable for us, and allowed us to live in the utopia that we do. Horrible, horrible heretic. Evil being that attacked her? I know not. We are given not this information by Bastet. She simply told us that it was an evil being that drove her out. She came back to reclaim her home planet. And brought us, her faithful, with her. It is, but it is mostly destroyed. All epitaphs have been destroyed. Everything that could link back to this creature, I know not what it was, have been destroyed by Bastet herself. But obviously there's something she left intentionally for us? No. The one big rule was never to go to that temple unless she disappeared. She told us not what to expect. I truly don't think she ever expected us to need to go there. And surely no one would go there. Because you're not from here. We are not fighters. Well, am I just supposed to stop in the middle of a ritual and answer all questions? Am I supposed to break thousands of years of tradition just for some off-worlders? He tilts his head a little bit at you. I suppose not, but I did have more time to think. And maybe you're exactly what Bastet is sent to help. This is a dire situation. And I'm sure she would understand in a dire situation giving this information out. Right? And he kind of tilts his head again, looking at you almost for a response. Yeah. Yeah. Well, he could still be distrustful. I don't know. But also, he can't. Are you... Now you are the one who's not telling the truth. The one to claim to not be into gods. You glow bright with the touch of a priest. He shrugs. Well, we all come to faith in our own time. Will you do this for me? Wonderful. The only thing I have to give you is this. He reaches into his robe and he pulls out a small rock, about the size of about $50, and hands it over to you. The rock is ice cold. This will lead you to the temple. My name in common? It is he who walks in the light. Very nice to meet you, Onas. Well, in my own tongue, he makes a series of hisses and spits that don't make much sense to you. It's very nice to meet you, Franklin. I do sure hope you can help me. I do appreciate it. If you need anything, please let me know. Oh, that food was conjured. Oh, certainly not. If you wish, I could show you how to conjure some food. It's even better because when you don't have to cook and it comes directly from your thoughts, that means it always comes out perfect. Franklin. No, it's just a dude. Well, maybe. He's a priest. Interesting. And why would that be? Oh, I apologize. I did not realize that was part of your faith. I will refrain from mentioning our cooking processes if they are offensive to you. That would be lovely. Don't see why you can't take the ship. It's a pretty big planet. It's about the size of a planet. Yeah, but that's also... I would say it's slightly bigger than Earth. However, as opposed to the Swamp Witches area, which was completely masked by both trees and magic, this is just a planet, for now at least. Might be able to use the stone to at least point you in the right direction, get you kind of close, and then you can get on the ground and play hot and cold. Is there anything else I can help you with before it leads you out? Oh, many, yes. But they don't bother us here on the temple grounds. There are subterranean species of different creatures. I'm not quite sure what a worm is. We do not have snakes here. I do know what a snake is. Oh, I don't believe we have that. Oh, I mean, there are... Oh, I would suggest not touching any wildlife. Oh, I would suggest not touching any wildlife. I hope that helps. There aren't any carnivorous plants that I am aware of. I would be careful eating some plants though, as some of them can be quite toxic. Right? Be pretty great. No, most of us keep to the grounds here, as it is safe and happy. We want not. Why would we go to the desert? He does ask it as though it is a genuine question, not an open-ended one, and stares at you for an answer. No? Should I? Why? I have friends and family here. Why would I? It's safe and happy. Thank you. Interesting. Do you find that you change your mind a lot after eating? So you... It bounces off of his robe and falls to the ground. Why did you throw that? You are very strange folk. I'm glad that you came. Do people typically not like you around? Oh, okay. Essentially, he can keep you cool for a little bit, for like an hour. He doesn't have enough power to really help. Yeah, he's very low on juice. I don't know how to tell you this. This poor man, he's juiced out. Especially, he just helped thousands of people with their prayers. Yeah, now that the ritual is over and the temple's cleared out, you do notice quite a few people walking around the temple grounds. You do notice that a lot of people leave and kind of go towards their domiciles that are farther on the outskirts. But there's still a good number of people moving around, even at night here. People seem to just be out and about. So most of what you see people wearing are this pretty similar robes to the ones that you were wearing for the ritual, just maybe a little more worn. So patched up or sewn up, little maybe stain here or there, but mostly the same. Just things to keep cool. Mm-hmm. Your voice seems to have reached levels that my ears cannot hear. Didn't know you could do that. No, they're yours to keep. Consider it a gift. No problem. Goodbye. People are eating conjured food. Alright. Well, you all make your way back to the ship. As you do, one of the people in the crow's nest calls out and they lower the gangplank for you. You come up to the top deck, you notice, again, most people are now stripped down to the bare minimum. Actually, now that it's the evening, most people have put their clothes back on, but you do notice quite a few of the lighter-skinned humans and gnomes have a bit of a sunburn. Salivar still seems to be well put together, even though it's been very hot. He comes up to you. Weatherwax does his normal courtly bow, hand on stomach, other one out to the side. Hello, Captain. At your service. He looks you up and down. He walks over to one of the other crewmen, holds out his hand. The other crewman pulls out a gold piece and places it in his hand as he walks back over. Thank you, Captain. Other side of the planet it is. Well, there's other bets that went down and some gold will exchange hands later. Don't worry about that. Well, you were part of the bet. You can't bet on yourself. That spoils the sport. He nods to you. Don't worry. There'll be time. Making food. Very minorly, but a noticeable enough amount. He looks, Salavar looks over to you, Weatherwax. Are we ready to move, Captain? Very well. Salavar begins barking orders. And Salavar looks to you, Weatherwax. If you would. This will be movement. 25. You go and take your place at the helm, pouring your magical energies into the ship, and it begins to lift off. You feel your stomach drop a little bit, but as the ship begins to move up, you can feel cool breeze blowing over you, and it feels nice. And as you set course for the other side of the planet, that's where we're going to call it this time. Good 2 hours in there. And, yeah, good work tonight, everyone. Now that we've seen that, moving forward, 3 people should be enough to... I really need everyone here until we finish this, like, little arc. So, we're going to shoot for week after... Oh, wait. Nope. Not week after next, because I'm going to be on vacation. My vacation starts next week. So, 13th? Everybody good for the 13th? What's up? Yeah, sure. Go for it. Give me a performance. I'm sure he's gonna do it when he comes back. Yeah, you guys gotta come back at some point, right? Right? No. Come back to the guy to cook him food after the mission. Right. Performance. Oh, wait, yours is presence. Sorry. Might be. I'm a little sleepy. $19. If... Okay. We're looking for a 20. Yeah, use a hero point. Alright. Oh, no, he's got it with the hero point. He good. You'll be able to help out in the desert, trust me. You're going to be vital. Franklin makes a delicious tzatziki with mint and some delicious flatbread, and as you eat it, you can feel it cool you down inside. This will give you advantage to having to deal with heat for the next 8 hours. And that's gonna be it. So, thanks everybody for hanging out today. We'll be back on the, what did we say, 13th? 13th, and yeah. Good night, everyone.